Hi there, I'm Chris. I'm not a chef. Like you, I'm just trying to get through the coronavirus while in lockdown. But I do know a lot about food and the food business and food safety. So I'm here to help you have a better time and learn more so you don't get freaked out in the kitchen while you're being holed up in the house. Now I want to talk about eggs. Now, these beauties, eggs are amazing. They're really good for you. And as long as you're not allergic, anyone can eat them. Or if you're vegan or something. But these are something that are really simple and easy to make, but you have no idea how many times it's not done right and done well to make eating an egg enjoyable. And I just want to show you simple scrambled eggs. It's really easy. It takes almost no skill. You don't need anything special, and they're just really good for you. Now, a couple of tips that I do to make it a little bit easier: instead of breaking them into a hot pan and possibly getting, some people are not that great at cracking eggs. And I understand that. I mess up too. Sometimes they're really thin shells, sometimes they're not. So what I do is I actually crack them into another container instead of doing them right in a pan. And I do this even if I'm making fried eggs, and I'll tell you why. Because what I can do now that I've got them in here, if I want my eggs runny or over easy, I'm not going to break them into the pan because I put them in this little small thing, and then I can take this and pour it really close so these don't fall and break the yolks. Because I love a nice runny egg. And so that's the reason I put them in here. Now, of course, I'm doing scrambled eggs, so all you do is you take your fork and you scramble them up a little bit, and you don't even have to do it a whole lot. And another thing is, when I do it in this cup like this, it gives me a chance to get any shells out. Now, I did really well here and didn't get any shells in there, so it gives you a chance to pick it out before you cook it. So now, there, that's done. It's just a little yellow mix, and that's all there is to that. So now we're going to heat up our pan. Now, I'm going to turn on our fire here. And we want to get a little hot initially in the beginning. Now, this is how simple I'm making this. I just found this crappy little spatula in here. I'm not even going to use butter. I just have a regular little cheap non-stick skillet here. And it's going to heat up pretty quick, being small and me putting it on high. And I'm just going to pour them in there. I'm not going to wait for it to get hot, because this allows me to actually look at it and watch it for a second. And as this heats up, I'll be able to see it starting to bubble along the edges. And so what I'm watching for is I'm watching for it to change color, and it will. It will change color a bit, and it'll start to get a little white on the sides. So you see here, you see some bubbles coming in there, and it's starting to get light and white. And so here's what I'm going to do next is I'm just waiting for this to get a little warmer on the edge where I can tell it's starting to actually cook. And then I'm just going to start doing this. And I'm going to continually, hang on, my pan's a little crooked there. Just keep going. And then give it a few seconds, let it set, and you can start to see the little clumps forming in there. And I'm using a really crappy spatula here. I'm not using any butter or anything. Now, normally, me personally, I would put butter in here, but I'm just going to show what can happen when we don't. I'm going to set this aside because I need two hands. There we go. Does everyone see that? All right. And so now, this pan is already hot enough that I could turn this heat off, and I won't need any more. And the eggs will keep cooking. And we're just going to keep doing this. And folding. And now here's the thing that I always think is that people overcook these. So what we're going to do is, as this starts to thicken up, And it is, because the pan is nice and hot, and we're just going to keep moving it around so all the different parts of the egg touch the hot pan and get hot. And now it's a little bit at this creamy-ish. You can see it glistening a little bit. It's not dry. You don't want to over dry it because that just really changes the experience of the egg. So now we want to put it in a pan, in a plate. You want to do that really quick because we don't want to overcook them, because that makes it pretty gross. And now, as you can see, they're still going to be a little warm, so they're still going to continue to cook for a tiny bit while they're still sitting on the plate there. I can even feel the heat off of them still. And feeling that heat means you know they're not done cooking. So that's why you don't want to leave them in the pan too long. And that took us, what, 3 or 4 minutes to make those eggs. It's very quick. And now you have a really nice breakfast. Okay, I stopped because I needed to put that stuff away, and I didn't want to sit it on the hot stove or anything. I didn't do any camera tricks or change anything. This is the exact same plate. And so now I have not added any salt or pepper or butter or anything to this. And because I didn't overcook them, they still taste like eggs. Because when you overcook something, it actually kind of ruins the flavor of it. But these are actually good the way they are. I have not put any salt or pepper on these, and they are still good. So now you know how to make basic eggs very easily, very quickly. And if you need them salty, or you like pepper in them, or want to put some green chilies, or crumble up some little pieces of bacon in there, then you can do that. But you have the basics, and that's the most important part, because once you have the basics of how to make them really great, I can't stop myself, then then you can really expand and change things. And that's where you start to grow inside the kitchen, is getting this easy part right and getting it perfect so that they're not overcooked, and they can take the flavor of other things that you add to it and still taste like the delicious eggs like nature intended. Enjoy. I'm gonna go finish eating this now. Thanks. I'm done eating that now, but I wanted to add something to this video that I haven't really added to the others. I want to challenge you, and leave a comment later after you've done this. I want you to make those eggs I just did. No butter, just eggs. Scramble them up, do it just like I did. Don't do anything fancy. Scramble them up and try them. I really want to know what you think of scrambled eggs just by themselves when they're not overcooked and they're done properly. I really want to know how many, because me personally, I think they have so much going for them, and the way you can ruin them is by adding too much to them. So I really want to have people try eggs, no salt, no pepper, no butter, no oil. Scramble them up, throw them in the pan. Don't overcook them. Wait when they're still glistening, throw them on the plate, let them cool down a bit, and just eat them. Please let me know how it is.